intend to use the car exactly what I built the car for, and that's to give it a hiding. My name's Todd from Geelong, Victoria, and this is my 1983 VH Commodore SL. So first car was a KE10 Corolla. I bought, I think, for $200, I reckon. Yeah, about that. And we built a turbocharger kit for it. So I think I was 16, my brother was 18, so he had a license. So we just pretty much built it up, put a turbo off a Nissan Pulsar, running about 15 pounds boost, and straight avgas, and that was pretty much the first car. After the Corolla, I dabbled in a fair bit of turbo. I had a couple of Sylvias, I had a 32 GTR Skyline. I raced that at Calder Park, went 11.2 at 125 mile an hour, and then had a 200 SX, and then I started to dabble in a bit in V8s. Always had a bit of a passion for the early Commodores, and VH being my favourite, so I bought the car behind me for $600 off a good mate of mine. So it was a big block 173, and that 4-speed manual. So I pretty much got it all registered and roadworthy, and then I think I had every single panel off, every guard off, the bonnet off, motor out, trans out within, I think, 2 days of it being registered, and then started the rebuild on it. Pretty much every little aspect that I've built the car for. When I heard that Australia was doing like a drag week, a drag challenge, I was trying my best to get the car up and going for the very first one, but we missed out on getting it to the start line. We managed to make it to the last round, so we went there with a brand new Holden engine. It was naturally aspirated 383, cast iron heads, built by James Melmoth, and it went 9.8. We backed it up and did the next year, so we managed to, I think we finished about 12th outright, finished 4th in the class. Did the whole lot on race seats, you know, swapping fuels at the tracks. We towed everything around with roof racks. So we had roof racks on with the fuel, we had tools, we had spare tyres, we had everything on the roof. And then we sold that combo and we decided to go with a supercharged LS combo, which is an LS3. First pass at Calder Park, it went 8.99 at 152. That's the very first full track pass that it did. So we were absolutely over the moon. That was our goal. We wanted to run, you know, into an 8. Made it to the last day at Calder Park, and the first pass at Calder Park on the last day, it spun a conrod bearing, and broke a conrod, and it shot it out the side of the block, and it dumped all the oil under the back tyres on decel after a pass. I think it went 9.2 at 148, and we spun the car around backwards, and it just nicked a wall when we were going about 30 k's an hour. So the damage wasn't too bad, but it was enough to put me out of action for, you know, 12 months. Definitely sucked seeing the car all broken up. I didn't want to open the shed for a couple of months just because I knew that I was going to have to spend a lot of time and money on it. But it was good because I had a lot of people who knew that, you know, my budget's not as big as a lot of the bigger guys, and they just wanted to help. A lot of the guys like Fraser and Michelle at Alpha Motorsport, they supplied me a bonnet. I got the bumper bars from it as well. Greg Blake at Blake's Body Repairs, he's a mate of mine, and he rang me up and said bring her down, so we straightened it all up. We put a new front on it. Adam and Luke, obviously at MPW, they helped with pretty much everything else on the rebuild. The motor's got a second-hand crank in it, second-hand conrods, all pre-loved bits, but it was good, you know, the camaraderie of the guys who actually do that drag challenge event and in cars. I don't think you'll find a better bunch of people in the car industry for putting their hand up and wanting to help someone who's in need. Current engine combination, it's actually a 403 stroker. So the standard stroke for this block is a 6 litre, which is 364 cube. So we've kept the aluminium block. We've done a lot of modifications to the block to try and hold it together. The heads are done by James Melmoth. They were on the last engine. We salvaged them. It's a 2300 Magnuson heartbeat supercharger. We've gone a little bit more compression with this combo. With the blower engines, you're kind of limited to what boost you can run. The car makes really good power on low boost. So we've got over 11 compression in it. It's a custom cam also from America, a Brian Tooley cam. And in the gearbox, it's the same gearbox as before. It's a Powerglide FTI transmission supplied by DDM Transmissions, and it runs a 4500 converter, which is a 10-inch converter. In the rear end, it's just a 35 spline 9-inch diff supplied by Geelong diffs. With the wheels this time, with the car, it's always had welds on it. The rear wheels that I've got on it are actually black, Industries. They're from America. So they're 15 by 8s with a 3-inch backspace. They're a single beadlock. They're a 3-piece rim. And the front wheels are RC comp, 15 by 3.5s with a 2.25 backspace. With the interior, it's still relatively standard, like left the showroom floor in 1983. That was at the start when I built it. That's what I wanted. I wanted to look standard. I tried to incorporate the shifter with a drop box so I didn't have to cut up the factory console. I've put the Motec SDL3 dash in where the old cluster used to be. I'm currently in the process of getting the interior redone. It'll be a full custom trim. So with the colour, I'd seen a couple of cars around that had that blue that looks non-metallic when there's no sunshine on the colour. But when the sun shined on this colour, it looked like it was a candy colour, and that's exactly what I wanted. It's going to be easy to match because it is a factory colour, and it won't be paint the whole side of the car if it does get a little scratch on it. When I went over to the LS, a few people deleted me on Facebook. It was pretty funny. A few people wrote me nice little messages saying I've come out of the closet, I've turned to the dark side because I've gone with that engine. Having that throttle response, I think I'll never ever hate that. I think having the power straight under your foot instead of waiting for it to come on like a turbo car, like my brother's setup, I think I'll really love the low-down torque of the supercharged engine. All of this I'm changing because I want to go back to drag challenge. I had to sit and watch last year's on live feed while I was on night shift at work, and it sucked not being there, but it'll be back this year. I didn't intend on rebuilding it 2 times in 5 years, but these things happen. The highs are highs and the lowest are lows with cars, with this type of car industry. But I think it's come back bigger and badder and better than what it ever has been. Gets cruised on the street often. Like I take the kids to school in it sometimes. I pick them up from school in it. We have gone to done groceries in it before when one of our other cars had a flat tyre. As I said, we drive it around on Christmas Day. Pretty much if the sun's out, I want to get the car out.